Y'all, glad you're here. When you come in, let me know you're here. Give me a thumbs up. Go like the video so you don't forget on the way out. That's the number one way you guys can help me is liking and subscribing. Fun things to do. Today's gonna be fun. We got a fun one. I think y'all are really gonna like. Oh, goodness gracious. Get something done and ready. Plastic. There we go. Get some things ready. We talked about some of these before, but we're going to go over them again. Okay, where are we at? Not quite 12 yet, so I'll wait a few minutes. Wet my whistle and make sure I have everything here. So we're ready to go. Okay. Today, we're going to talk about these bigger, and I believe this is 12-inch round mold that I have. About half an inch thick. It's not a deep mold, but it's enough to make a wall piece or make a piece for your front door. You can put it on a wooden canvas, however you want to do it. So this is just a regular 12-inch, which are great. I know y'all seen those stencils that say welcome home, or home is where the heart is, or you know the stencils I'm talking about that are bigger ones for big molds like this. But I have been seeing a lot of this profile designs and projects where they put a base in the middle and they use flowers to create a hair flow. I thought, you know what? It's almost springtime. The weather's acting like it's springtime. So let's talk about that and let's break it down so it's easier for beginners to understand. Because a lot of people do those watch me work videos and they just go through all done. And they don't break down the steps for you. So I want to talk about multiple ways we can do this type of project. First, I have a stencil and I just press it onto my silicone. There we go. I can put it back down. I have a stencil that has the eyes and it has a flower down one side, it has butterflies down the other side. These are stencils I got for face paint, believe it or not, that people use on kids at fairs, carnivals, but it works great for this purpose too. So I'm just gonna, and I'm eyeballing it, but I'm putting the stencil down and I'm pressing, smoothing it out so it wraps onto my silicone. That's one way you can do it. Another way is to simply take a printed paper. You can print whatever scene or whatever you want out, put it under your mold, and then you're just going to trace. But you can see, can you see that? Let me put it on there. Now you can see it better. You can see from under the mold, right? I'm not using the actual stencil, it's underneath. You can print out paper, put it under your mold, and do an outline with some colored UV resin. You could hand draw it with some mica powder, use a little brush, and do your design based on the stencil or the lines underneath with just a brush. And let me tell y'all, here's the pro tip. You can create your own paint with mica powders and alcohol, regular isopropyl alcohol. Now, if you're going to do that, I would suggest 91%, not 99, because 91% is going to evaporate off slower. So you can create a paint or paste, have your design under your mold, and then just follow the lines, the layout, whatever. And then you're going to have that on your mold, right? Or you can take your UV resin and just pour it out and follow the lines. Sure that, and you're going to have a template on your mold. Okay, Tamara? Glad you're here. So we're talking about, I don't know if you've seen the designs where people do a profile picture and use flowers like hair. It's really cute. So I figured I would break it down step by step. So what I'm showing you now is how you can use a stencil either on the mold, or you can print out a picture or an outline from your printer, put it under your mold, and then use UV resin or some mica powder and create an outline on your mold from that painting or printout or stencil. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stencil with the eyes. It's the stencil I got for like carnival painters or, you know, kids who do face paint. That's what the stencil's from. We can use it in resin. So I'm just going to put it down on my mold, and I'm pressing so it doesn't come up so easy. Then we can take, let's see, what do we have? Let's take this blue. And I'm just going to brush over, of course, there's a husky hair on there. Get that off. And I'm just going to brush over the stencil with the eyeball, like so. And I'm going to show you two different things you can do. You can leave this mica like it is and let that be your eye. I'll do the same thing up here. So I'm going to do two eyes on this one. And I highly suggest you do this part. Okay? This gives you a layout pattern to follow. Now, I also want to do butterflies, but I'm going to do the middle one blue to match the eyes. And I'm going to do the other butterflies a different color. Okay? So let's put it this way. And let's use, what do I have here? I have teal. What else? A little lighter green. What else is hiding here? Red, gold. Let's do this light pink and teal. I think that'll be pretty. So let's do teal for this one. And all I'm doing is gently patting. You can see I got some out here fine because we're going to clean it up with a baby white shocker. All right. So, you know what? Let's just do them both teal. Let's do them both. Ta-da, done. Now, get up my brush, put it back away, move these out of the way. Now, I'm going to blow and use my brush to get any excess off there. Okay. And this is just a makeup brush. Soft tip. It's not going to scratch my silicone. I use it for dusting off glitter or anything like that. So we're going to that straight up. And you can see here, we have some, I'll move this out of the way. We have some went on the edge. So what we're going to do, we're going to take our baby wipe. And we're just going to clean that. Remove that. I don't want that. in place. So any excess we're cleaning up and getting out of the way. Moving over here. All right. So now we have, let's see here. We have more. And I'm just wrapping this around my finger so I can go right here and not mess up my butterfly. So there. Now you see that is on the mold, right? Super easy. And this underneath so you can see easier on the camera what we have. But now this is where the fun begins, because I can leave this like it is, or if I want, I can take some UV resin and outline these and cure the UV. So I have that outline, it's not going to go anywhere, right? I think I'm going to leave it like this now. And I have some more flowers. I got different colors to create a hair flow. Now, I'm laying this out, and this is what I suggest. This is the pro tip. Lay out what you think is good. Take a picture of it. So then you only have to bring your flowers over. Lay it out on the side, right? So I'm just smushed when they're shipping. And I did test this material, y'all. I snipped some off and tested the resin. So remember that for using any kind of fabric that is tinted, make sure you snip, go underneath the bottom here on a petal that you're not going to see. Snip some off and test it in resin to see if it's going to out from where it was colored, dyed, sprayed, however they colored their flowers. So that's very important. Let's put this on this side, like so. And we're just going to arrange flowers. And like I said, I'm going to take a picture, and I'm just fluffing these up, right? And then we'll use the smaller little one. You don't want to use all the same size. Mix and match it, right? So here's this. We have some little ones. And you want to do a swoosh around? Do you want to do both sides? Do you want to do like a halo? I mean, it's really all up to you. Lay it out, play with it, have some fun. Like so. Mix and match colors. See how it looks. I have a darker pink or mauve. I have a purple hue to it. I'm opening. But then we're going to talk about how you, oh, y'all, when we get done this one. So, like, here's some little baby you want to put up here. Here's a bigger one we can put down here, right? Or you don't have to use the bigger ones. You can use the smaller ones. Maybe we don't want these big ones up here. Maybe we just want some smaller ones to outline her face, like so. And then you can create some of this has greenery or not. But there you go. You get the idea of what I'm saying. So you're going to spread that around. Like I said, lay out your design. See what you like, what you don't like. Change things out. Just greenery. Some greenery in between them. You know what I mean? So that's how you would do that. I would not use these bigger ones on this. And you could even go smaller with like smaller daisies, the dried ones that we get that we use a lot in jewelry. You could use those too if you don't want them sticking out over your piece. Or simply use a deeper mold. This is a ½ inch, right? So if you want to use a deeper mold, you can use bigger flowers. But that's all up to you. Those are the things I want to show you. I want to show you the steps. And then I'll make a video of the final walkthrough. Today we're simply talking steps how to get here. So you've got your flowers, you've got it all aligned the way you want. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the flowers off, and if I were you, I would set them to the side in the order that you want them. So it's easy to grab and place, grab and place. Now, to set these flowers, you're going to pour a layer of clear resin. Okay. And I guess here's the other thing. This design I would build from the bottom up. So if you want to put a white background, if you want to put a blue, if you want to do a marble background with these colors in white, and then build your base upon that, pour that marble, pour that solid white, whatever you want to do, pour that first. Let that cure. Then you're going to put the stencil on that white. Now, this is where the UV resin is going to come in handy, because trying to use micro powder on cured resin does not work very well. So my suggestion for that remedy is use UV resin or use an alcohol mica paste to paint on your stencil. That will stay on cured resin. Then you come back and add your UV so it's more defined, however you want to do it. That's up to you. But if you're going to do a solid color as your base, pour that first. Or you can wait till it's all done, turn it over, and do backing color. But the second one, these flowers are going to be sticking out. I can tell you that already. So choose your flowers for the depth of your mold, or get a deeper mold and use deep pour resin. Whew. It is hot today. We're going to have a midlife heat wave. Raise your hand if you've had some of those. Lord have mercy, it's ridiculous. Anyway, so let's say we have our base color down. We've got our stencil design all laid out. We laid our colors, our flowers out of the pattern we want. We take them all, move them to the side. We're going to pour a thin layer of resin. You don't want a big, thick layer because you don't want your flowers floating everywhere. So you want a thin layer, and that layer is strictly to hold your flowers and your design in place. Yes. Oh my God, it is ridiculous. My family knows. You can't say, flash. It is a midlife heat wave. That's what I call it. So, yeah, it is insane right now. Whew, we're going to get through this. Anyway, so you want a thin layer of resin. You want to put your flowers in that resin, in the design that you want them. And that would be cute too. Just use to match this ombre blue and some lighter like that. That would be a cute color combo. Use something like that. And maybe a couple white flowers. That would be awesome. But anyway, you get the idea. So you're putting that thin layer, you're putting your flower in the resin. Now you're going to let that thin layer sit for like 4 hours. What's going to happen is it's going to thicken up, it's going to grab hold of your flower, and it's going to keep it there. That's going to prevent your flowers from floating up. So make sure it's a thin layer of resin that's not going to allow your flowers to float around and do something. You don't want that. You want to lock them in place. So thin layer, put it down, done. A lot of people have asked me, can I use hot glue? Hey, Melinda, glad you're here. We're going over those very popular profile pieces that a lot of people are doing using flowers as hair. And with springtime coming up, I thought it's a great idea to talk about step by step how to do it. So, whew, I have stencils that I got that are for putting flowers and doing artwork on kids, stencil like face painting for kids. That's what that is. And I just put it on my mold. But here's another thing, and I'll do a refresher since people are just coming in. You can take a piece of paper out from your printer, put it under your mold, and use that as a template. And you can use microfiber, you can make paste with and alcohol and use that on, or you can use UV resin to outline your whatever you have under here, cure it, and then you have your template on your mold. So that's an easy way to figure out templates and stencils. Um, and like I said, if you're doing a wow, what that is, but if you're doing a gosh, y'all, my brain is dead. My long COVID is kicking in. With knowing what I want to say, but the word will not come. So, if you're doing this on cured resin, beware. Mica does not go on cured resin as easily as it does on silicone mold, right? So keep that in mind. You may want to make a paste after putting it on cured resin. And you can actually use that mica and just paint, freehand paint. If we have people that are talented and freehand paint a lot, that's a great way to do it. Just use mica powder, mix it with some alcohol, make a paste. And now remember, your alcohol is going to evaporate off. So if it evaporates off and dries out, simply add a little more alcohol, mix it up, and you can continue along. But that's a great way to freehand paint on cured resin or on your mold prior to pouring resin. If you do that, make sure you let that paste dry really good before you pour resin. Because if you don't and it's still wet or damp, it's going to bleed into you and leave these streaks of color all of your resin, and you don't want that. So that's another pro tip for you. But like I said, when you're adding your flowers, make sure it's a very thin layer, just enough to lock them down and hold them in place so they're not floating around. You don't want that to happen. And that's what I'll say. Goodness gracious, y'all. I'm sorry. This is really frustrating. Can you use hot glue to secure things down? The answer is yes, you could use hot glue. Will it stay there? I don't know. Because resin heats as it cures. And you run the risk of it heating too much and breaking the bond from the glue, and still you're going to have a floating issue. So I suggest in your resin, place your flowers where you want them, walk away, let it sit up, let the resin grab onto your flower, and then go from there. If you're going to do a piece like this, I do suggest a mold. I think it's going to be better. If you're not going to add flowers like this, and say you're going to add, oh my gosh, flower stickers or the smaller flat dried flowers that we use for jewelry, that would be good. You can use that in a mold with this half inch thickness. Or you could just do this. And then you can do rhinestones. Maybe rhinestones along the eye line, right? Maybe rhinestones here in the eye part. And you can use some glitter to highlight these to make them stand out without having to worry about flowers and all of that. So a lot of different things you can do. And you continue to use the stencil with butterflies all around here and let the butterflies be the hair. Let's do that so I can show you. Let me wipe this on. So let's say we want to add, and we can turn it this way so it goes in a flow, right? We want the butterfly to be like her hair. So for this one, let's do the teal, right? So we're just going to do this. Don't want a lot of powder. So you can do this. If you don't have flowers or you don't want to do the flowers, you can just simply use butterflies as her hair. Or if you have a flower stencil, use a flower stencil as her hair, right? So there we go. Put it back on. And you see what I mean. So you can use that stencil and keep using it to create her hair as the butterflies. Behind it if it's easier. Is that easier to see? Okay. So you see what I mean? You don't have to use the flower. You can use just a stencil to create butterfly hair around. And that's what I'm going to do in this one. I'm not going to mess with the flowers. I'm just going to keep using the stencil to fill out more butterfly hair around. Yeah, that's cute. And I think if we went and we added some, like, have colored rocks or crushed glass, and we have some rhinestones, different sizes, where we could, put a couple rhinestones here, iris, her eye, and then maybe some crushed glass on the butterflies. There's all kind of different things you can do to make it stand out more. It doesn't take a whole bunch of effort that way, right? So that's an idea too. I'm just gonna take my baby and I'm doing this because this is a thin mold. Okay, it's only half inch deep. So there's that. And we can just keep building butterflies out, right? Around. Let's just do that to show you what it looks like. Now let's use some of our dark blue and our teal. So let's do, we'll do dark blue in the middle. Pull this down. Okay, now we'll do teal. That's too much. Here. And this one. And we're just going to build layers like that, y'all. And again. So there we go. See how that's building around, and I can pull and I can bring it further here or here, and I don't have to do all three. I can just do a couple butterflies, whatever I need to fill in. If I want just one here, whatever, I have that stencil to go by. And then I simply wipe up any that I get in places I don't want, right? So it's super, super easy. And it doesn't require all the flowers. It doesn't require a good eye because some people have a hard time, what look good together. So this is an easy way to do that. This way so you can see it. Um, and just use your butterflies to build your volume in the area where you want it. So y'all, I'm not gonna pour all this. I'll pour it. I'm gonna finish building this out with butterflies, and I'm using the very same stencil. I'm using one stencil to do all of this, and then I will draw some lips. I have lips. If you have a lip balm, great. Put up some lips here. You have a lip stencil. Draw your stencil here for your lips, and then you could use glitter like the pearlescent UV resin to make your lips sparkle and shimmer. Whatever you want to do. But do y'all see how I'm building that? And I can make it fit in a smaller mold. It doesn't have to be that deep table mold that takes so much resin. And you can still get a pretty effect that way. And honestly, you want to build it this way, it's going to look fine like this. So your last layer that you pour, if you're doing this, pour your background color. A white is what I would do. So I will do a thin layer because I'm not building up, right? I'm just using a stencil. So that way, when I take it out of the mold, this is what I'm going to see. I have to worry about not being able to put a background color because I have to build it from the bottom up facing. So that can take that out of play too. Use a stencil and build your hair or your design that way. And then your last layer that you pour on top of the clear is going to be white, so you have that background. When you take it out, this is going to be the smoothest side of your piece, and you're going to have that white background to pop up. So there you have it, guys. That's an easy way to do that without needing deep pour resin, deep pour mold, a bunch of flowers. You can create. That's not what I was planning when I came in here, but it kind of worked out that way, and I'm glad it did because I like that, and I like being able to put a back color on this. So it's all one piece. I don't have to worry about top coats. I don't have to worry about any of that. This is a way just to do it, get it done, and still have a beautiful, creative design with colors I want. Maybe I want blue eyes and different butterfly colors. Maybe I want springtime or pastel colors. Remember, if you put a white background, it is going to pastel. So keep that in mind too. But y'all, what do you think about that? Is it something you think you can try? Have y'all been seeing those videos too? Where they do flowers and all that? It's beautiful. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of resin. This is the way to do it without breaking the bank. And y'all, here's another thing. Super cute if you have a granddaughter who's all into the unicorns. You can use this for their ears. And you can use this as their eyes if you wanted. Or just simply use the ears, the horn, and then you have little designs. Maybe you want to do art for their hair. I think you can do it, Tamara. It's really easy. Just get a good stencil. That's the key. A good stencil. And this is just a 12 ounce or 12 ounce, 12 inch, half inch deep round. So it's not going to take a lot of resin like a deep pour would, where you'd have to use, preferably use deep pour resin, but you could do a deeper one in multiple layers than our regular 1v1 resin. It just takes more time. But y'all, that's all I have for this. I hope you liked it and learned something and have the courage and the confidence to try it yourself. I think y'all can do this. I think it's beautiful. And I think a lot of people will love it. So that's all we have for this live, y'all. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. That is free. I say it's free 99. It's just free. Just subscribe. That lets other people see, oh, this channel is pretty interesting. It's educational. I learn from it. So if you could do that, that'd be wonderful. For all of my members, y'all, be on the lookout. Look at the community tab. I put up a question for y'all to vote on because I'm planning on doing giveaways next month. So if you want to join and become a member, click the join button. It's like $30.99 a month, I think, like $4. I didn't make it very expensive at all. And it helps support because my channel's not sponsored. Everything I do on my own. So if you want to do that, great. I'm hoping to have some giveaways next month. Check out the community tab on my channel for that info. And y'all, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy your family. Remember to treat yourself kind. Take some time this weekend for some self-care. If it's reading a book, if it's soaking in a bubble bath, take care of you too. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. I will see you in the next one. So until then, happy arting. Ta-ta for now.